Well, taking a look outside the Martin Exteriors roof cam, we're starting to see that sun move in as the cloud cover is moving out. So enjoy it while it lasts, even though the conditions are pretty breezy out there.
Brett Nicholas from Trinity Financial joins us here, but before Brett talks his money stuff, it is his tax day, and it's dad joke of the day. And Brett,
Dad joke of the day.
Brett likes dad jokes.
We're not subjecting him to torture, I promise.
I don't do my own taxes. I'm just not into it.
Oh.
Into it, a tax doing
Yep.
service.
Puns taken to the nth degree.
See?
I don't disapprove.
Yeah, that's today's,
a good one.
That's today's dad joke of the day. So
The funny thing is my wife is shaking her head right now because I always come out and tell her dad jokes and she just...
So we're enjoying them here.
Yeah.
Can't guarantee you're enjoying them at all.
now you're not dealing with taxes today,
I
but
am not.
No.
So you're not busy slaving over abacuses and other things like that.
I think Excel sheets now is
Really?
Does anybody know what an abacus is?
But you have been busy the last
have
few
been, yes.
months with calls questioning what to do in this volatile, uncertain time that we are experiencing. Tariffs on again, off again. How are you advising people throughout the tariff trade wars we're experiencing?
Right, and I think that's a great way to lead into it. You know, the tariff trade war is something that's so far above us that we really have no control over. I mean, but we have to deal with it. But it's in the headlines everywhere. But if you look underneath the surface, just a continuation of last time I was here, the economy is still strong. Jobs were much higher created in March than what was expected. Inflation dropped in March, unexpected. Unemployment ticked up 0.1%.
But it's still pretty low, yeah.
Unemployment is 4.2%,
Yeah,
which
still very low.
is amazing. So there's so many strong things for the economy that if we take away the tariff part, which is, you know, ebb and flow, the economy is still going well. So my advice has been to, you know, stay the course, because if the tariff news brought the market down, then tariff news will bring the market back up.
Oh.
If
And
it
we
makes
have
sense.
seen a rebound here
Yeah.
the
We've
last
seen
few days.
Yes, we've seen a rebound. One of the most frustrating reports is the consumer confidence.
Right.
And consumer confidence dropped 10 points on the last one. And my first instinct was, well, yes, it dropped. I mean, look at the headlines. If they're just watching the news or they just read the headlines,
It makes people anxious, makes them
bingo.
worried, and it
So,
all feeds into it.
Yep, and if they get a call and they, you know, are asking questions about the economy, they just naturally think everything's going bad. Underlying reports are all positive. I personally didn't put a lot of credence in the consumer confidence report this week or this month just because of all the bad news, and people aren't reading deep into the articles.
And then there's so much on again, off again, uncertainty, fluctuation right now that I'm sure there is some knee-jerk reaction, but once again, that's why you're here to say, let's look at some of the pinnings of the economy and say they're still pretty stable.
So, and earnings reports came out today, much more positive. I think it was one of the large banks, I forget which one it was, I just read it. Their earnings for this past month were more positive than what they expected just from interest rates and trading fees. So there's still a lot of good things going on in the economy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there still is Medicare and there still is Social Security, although there's been much fluctuation and volatility among that, but that's kind of your area one of your areas of expertise. And what is your advice for those that are kind of relying on that at the end of their work time?
Right, so one of the transitions is the Medicare and the Medicare supplement and the Social Security as they transition in retirement. So what we do for our financial planning clients as they transition is we help them walk through the journey of Medicare supplements. But even as they get past that, we're seeing a lot of Medicare supplement companies.
Because Medicare isn't enough.
Correct.
For most people.
Medicare is the base, and then the
Yes.
supplements are the parts that you need to
Right, you
really
either
address your
prescriptions,
needs.
for other type of care you
Correct.
may need. And
You either have
that costs money. The supplements cost money. Medicare also costs money, but
Right.
That's a fixed price.
Right, Part B is at $185.
Right.
The Medicare supplement or Medicare Advantage is what people use to supplement to cover the costs that Medicare A and B don't cover. So I'm talking about the Medicare supplement part right now.
Okay.
That we're seeing a lot of companies
And that's where
across the
people
board.
have choices there.
They do.
Yes.
That have taken a 32% increase, many companies as high as 32%. So we just want to take this opportunity to let people know you don't have to wait for a certain time to get a quote for a Medicare supplement.
You can
Medicare,
start looking before retirement, before you're even on Medicare, correct?
Yes, or even after. So a lot of times with the Medicare Advantage or the Part D, they have to wait till October 15th to December 7th. A Medicare supplement, they can get a quote and change a Medicare supplement anytime. So if they got a price increase notice, they should get a quote.
From another supplement provider.
Correct.
And there's a lot out there, and you guys really help navigate all that for folks, because it can be really challenging and people will get kind of confused with terminology. It's very common.
Terminology. Look at what we just spent a couple minutes just going through the different segments, and we probably just confuse people more than anything. But
that's why you got to call him.
Right, there's so many different parts to it, but I mean, I appreciate you differentiating between the Medicare A/B, the supplement, and Medicare Advantage, but we're talking just about the supplement right now.
If you sign up for Medicare Advantage, that's a year commitment.
Correct.
And Medicare, of course, is also a year commitment. Medicare is a life commitment.
Correct. You're on that. But the Medicare Advantage, you can only change that during the annual enrollment, and then you're on it for a year, from January 1st to December 31st.
Supplements are usually through private insurance companies.
Correct. Yeah. And you can change those anytime.
Anytime. You're not locked in. Okay.
Good things to know.
And you have an educational event coming up in Freeport here.
We do.
Next a couple of weeks now, huh?
Yep, May 6th and 8th. We're going to be at the Freeport Public Library at 6 o'clock at night, and we're going to be talking about these two topics, Medicare and all the nuances of it and how to review the options, and then Social Security, the timing issues, and different strategies that you can use with the Social Security.
Perfect opportunity to get all of your questions answered right there in person and hopefully clear things up for folks, because it can be very confusing at times.
I think I'm getting it straight. All right, thank you, Brett.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
And once again, that is May 6th and 8th. You're asked to call the office, 288-5800, or visit the website, trinityifs.com, to kind of reserve a little space for the Freeport Public Library Social Security and Medicare discussions, May 6th and May 8th. Those are both at 6 o'clock. We'll be right back.